Alright, people. It is time for my Bloodsworn Saga video! A video that I am very excited about. Alright. This is my third take, by the way. It's pissing me off. Each time I've tried to take this video, I have encountered some problem. My computer died. I got multiple texts in the middle of it. Oh my god. I think also one time my camera died, so that might make it 4. I can't remember. I've tried so many times to make this video. And now, I hope I cannot get any texts. I am here to talk about Bloodsworn Saga. So, if you have not read Bloodsworn Saga, leave this video at once, because this will have full spoilers on the Bloodsworn Saga. Now, I want to tackle what I believe the essential questions for this series are. I believe that the biggest questions that the series is trying to answer is what should we do for our family? What is family? Yeah, that's the found family trope. I know. I'm not so sure I'm going to tackle that one, but specifically, how does our love for our family affect how we interact with the world? I think that last question, which is exactly what I'm going to be trying to answer today, is the core and most important aspect of this series. Alright, so, starting with Orka. So I'm going to be talking about Orka, Varg, and Elvar, alongside Guthvar and what's his name? Biorr. But I'll make it so that it's understood. Biorr will go alongside Elvar. I'm going to talk about them succinctly since if you've read Shadow of the Gods, you understand they had that relationship, and then, oh well, fuck you. Then we have Guthvar, who is also tied to Orcas, so I'll talk about Guthvar and Orka, and then I guess I might have to talk about Leif Thorkinson, I think. Thorkelson? I don't remember his name. But the guy who is constantly chasing after Varg, I don't know if I'll talk about him. I'll figure it out on the spot. Anyways, let's start with Orka. She is the paragon of love for her family throughout this series. And I think that this is characterized by 4 different events throughout the series. Of course, I'm going to have to hone in on this. And also Fury of the Gods, but this is focusing on the first 2 books right now. I'll talk about Fury of the Gods by the end of this section. So, starting off, I think the first important section is the capturing of Brekka and the death of Thorkel, her husband. When we see that Thorkel is dead, when Orka sees her husband on the ground, knives in his chest, I always imagine him kind of chained up for whatever reason and standing with knives in his chest. I can't tell you why, but that's how I've imagined it. It's one of the very few scenes I've imagined. But we see that she goes into a rage. Not only that they have killed him, but that they have abducted her son. And I think one of the most powerful scenes throughout the entire series is when Orka is running down a hillside and going to the riverside. And then we see her interrogate each and every son of a bitch there. She guts them. She looks at all of them and says, "Where is my son?" By the way, excuse me. Where is my son? And they don't answer. Or if they do answer, they don't give her a satisfying answer. Thus, she just brutally murders the lot of them. She gutted one of them with her axe, and you can just tell her love for Brekka in that moment, that she's so angry that her son has been stolen from her. How dare these sons of bitches steal her son? And it was just, I think you could feel it emanating off the pages. It was brilliant. And so then we see how she discovers, oh, the Jarl, sorry about that, has something to do with this. So she goes, hunts down the Jarl, kills her lover, and says, okay, where the fuck is my son? And it's so good because you see it only from Orka's perspective, and you see that this Jarl Sigrun is so self-absorbed, and Orka can kick her ass like that. And I think that Sigrun and Orka are supposed to be a little bit of foils. Sigrun is extremely self-interested, and she is interested only in her family. And so she doesn't care about honor, she doesn't care really about the people around her. And this reflects in Guthvar, how he is portrayed. They care about one another, but they care nothing about anybody else. They have no real friends. It's just Sigrun and Guthvar. And so, yes, they love one another. They have that sense of family, but that's it. They have their shared blood, and that is all that connects them. Beyond that, they would probably never have associated with one another. And so Orka goes on eventually to her next big moment. Where at the end of book 1, I'm 90% sure this is at the end of book 1. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. She is revealed to have been Orka Skullsplitter of the Bloodsworn, the former leader before Glornir, and that Glornir, the current leader of the Bloodsworn, a mercenary group, if you don't know, is a, oh my god. What is the word? I feel so bad that I'm forgetting this now. Oh yeah, Glornir was Thorkel, Orka's husband, brother. Wait, yes. Glornir is Thorkel's brother. There we go. So, thus, Brekka's uncle. And when he discovers that Orka is alive, he's going, what the hell? We thought you were dead! And you can't help but feel bad for the guy, since you think he's thought that his brother, his sister-in-law, were both dead. And maybe he knew that they were going to have a child, I can't remember. But that was such an interesting moment, because they all, especially in Fury of the Gods, I can't remember in Hunger of the Gods, you'll have to excuse me, my memory faltering, because I haven't read the Hunger of the Gods and Shadow of the Gods in about 2 years. But the way that we see the Bloodsworn are so hurt by Orka's abandonment of them. She just left them. And to the Bloodsworn are family. The world's out to get the Bloodsworn, because they are all tainted. Each and every one of them are the descendants of gods that are being hunted and discriminated against. So, of course, they are family. The world is against them. They had to protect each other. That is what it means to be Bloodsworn. We protect our own. And Orka just abandoned them. So did Thorkel. And that hurts them. You can tell in some of the moments in Fury of the Gods where the Bloodsworn look at Orka and say, you were supposed to be there for us. And she wasn't. She abandoned them. And it hurts them because they are family. And so, when we get to Hunger of the Gods, or later on in Hunger of the Gods, we meet Ulfrir. Ulfrir, I think that's his name. And, it's like Fenrir! I'm sure that's something I should have caught on to a long time ago. But now I'm catching on. Ulfrir and Fenrir, that makes sense. They're similar, huh? Anyways, the moment that she meets Ulfrir views her as his child and says, hey, you're my kid, you're my child, I don't care. I am here to protect you because you are my kin, you are my blood. You have to be with me. And, of course, he's thralled by Elvar at this moment. He's not particularly happy since he's a slave. But, and she just denies that. She says, no, I don't care. You never cared for us humans. And I always think that's such an interesting way of viewing the world for her. And we see how Orka takes it. She's fine with it, but she doesn't agree with him. She has her own father. She is not the descendant of this god. She does not care about him. And I think that was such a very interesting take for her, because we can see in even Fury of the Gods, there are Ulfhethnar, the descendants of Ulfrir, who deeply care for him and are thinking, you are our father, you are a sort of father to us, a second father, because without you we would never have been born, but also we would never have had these powers. They are proud of their powers and proud of who they are. And so that's such an interesting moment, to me at least. And we can go further, and then the retrieval of Brekka is another standout moment for what Orka is willing to do for her family. In that she kills so many of the enemy troops that it's insane. They're all looking at her going, you're a fucking mad woman. What are you doing? You just charged in here to steal your son back? Are you mad? Of course she was. She's pissed with them. And I thought that was such a wonderful moment where she's just chopping them down. And of course I could be forgetting things, but she sneaks in there and then goes, okay, now I gotta kill you guys to make sure that my son stays safe. And how in the final moments of Hunger of the Gods, she's fully willing to sacrifice herself. But before I continue on to her actions in Fury of the Gods, I want to talk about my little criticism of that. Why did she not die? I feel like it would have been so much more powerful. Anyways, I'm done. Fury of the Gods. I think that her actions in this book are not as stand out as they were in previous books, because Brekka's back now. Her job is to keep Brekka safe. She saves the guy, the random kid who is the son of a Jarl, but beyond that, we don't get that much from her. But we do get to see how she is willing to train Brekka, how she wants Brekka to be a warrior, and also that she has no, she's not against Brekka wanting vengeance for Thorkel, which is so interesting. It was not the point of this story that vengeance bad, and that we don't want vengeance, and so I thought it was deeply interesting how she's like, oh yeah, of course, we want vengeance here. Let's do it. And they do it together. And so I think that the death of Drekker is her biggest moment in the Fury of the Gods, because it is Brekka and Orka working together and saying, both of us, we love Thorkel, so together, let's kill this son of a bitch. And it says to the both of them, hey, we are family, let us avenge our dead family member. And I think that was so interesting. And we can also see that in some of Varg's perspectives. When Svik, is it Svik who dies? Somebody dies. And we go, oh shit, he's dead now. And so Rirkia and Varg are working together to go butcher this son of a bitch who killed their friend. Or, because they were Bloodsworn, their family member. They are all family. And so I think I can now jump into Varg's perspective, who I must admit I don't remember that much. But I can say I remember his biggest motivation, And I can say that I remember that the 3 books slowly built up to his final joining of the Bloodsworn, of saying, you are an official member of our family. You know what? The Bloodsworn are kind of like a gang. They're not a gang. It's like the Godfather. You know what I'm talking about? I swear, Glornir is the Godfather. He is a Corleone, and he's just indoctrinating these people into his family and saying, welcome to my family. I'm doing a terrible Italian accent. That's not an Italian accent. But my point is there. And Varg's main motivation to avenge his sister, Firia, I believe is her name. I can never pronounce that name. But his journey to avenge his sister, that's the crux of it all. Just like in Shadow of the Gods, for Orka, we see that he is fully willing to do these things for his family, his sister who has been murdered. He wants vengeance, or I think his name is Brack. Yes, Brack, the son of a bitch. And so his entire goal is vengeance against Brack. And then not only is he hunting down the killer of his sister, he's forging that family and creating that love for the people around him, and that same feeling of brothers and sisters and feeling of belonging for himself. So that when that one guy dies in Fury of the Gods, whose name I should probably remember, he's not happy about it. He's angry, and so is Rirkia. And then we see that they view each other as this family, and when Varg is indoctrinated into their family, I know indoctrinated might not be the right word, but I'm going to use it anyways. It's so powerful because he's being officially recognized as one of their brothers. One of their brothers. I was going to say one of their sisters. Don't ask why. That's what I was going to do. I don't know why. But we see that he's being inducted and said, yep, you're one of us now. You are part of our family. And no matter what, we will stand with you, just as you have stood by us. And it's such a powerful moment, because then we see how finally he's being officially recognized. But also, we didn't need it. It is that realization of we didn't really need him to be inducted, because he was part of their family already. Everybody knew Varg. Everybody loved Varg. Varg was their brother at this point. And so it's just the formality. It's like, hey, you know what? We love you. You are part of us. So let's give you the formality. Let's give you the shield. Let's give you the armor, the stuff you deserve to show your pride and say you are a Bloodsworn man. And that's such a good scene. And it's that finality of, we're a family here. And another scene that I thought was very powerful for Orka was when, I think it was Glornir said, you've always been family. Even when you left. In here, in our hearts, you were still Bloodsworn. And that was such a touching scene to me. And now we're going to go to Elvar. Yes, I saved Elvar for last because of how important she is to the story. How Ulfrir ties into her. How she is the crux. She is the reason all the big things happen. And all the major events take place. Why the Tainted are freed. And it is her love for people that frees the Tainted. Of course, it is not only her love for people that frees the Tainted. Let's be honest. She was a little bit of a bitch about it, but she still did it because of love at the end of the day. Alright, now let me tell you the big major events. I think one of the most important moments is the death of her former leader, whose name I cannot remember. I'm going to call him the Grim Man, because I think the name of her tribe mercenary group, was the something Grim. Oakgrim. That's probably not it, but I'm going to call them the Oakgrim right now. And so, when she has to take charge of the Oakgrim, I'm sorry, it's not coming to me. I really can't. I've tried for days to remember it. I should look through it again, but I won't. So, for her mercenary group, when her leader dies, she's angry with Biorr, who, if you don't remember, had a romantic relationship with her, and just stabbed them all in the back and killed their leader. Fair reasoning, though. I can't blame him. And so, when she looks at Biorr, she's angry because she respected and she loved this man. Not like a father, but like a brother. You are the strongest of us. You are to be respected. And so, when Biorr turns his back against that, she gets pissed off, and not only that, grows to hate the Tainted more. Of course, she had already been going and thralling the Tainted all throughout Vigrid. And this was just another point in that journey. But when Biorr stabbed them in the back, not only was he saying, fuck you all, it was a Tainted stabbing her in the back. So she grew to hate them more and love her people even more. Because that's how it is. When you grow betrayed, you tend to latch on to the people right next to you and love them even more. And say, you are super important to me and I need you right here. And I think that's another great scene. And going into Hunger of the Gods, we see how Elvar has to cope with that, and how she just goes, you know what? I don't care about the Tainted. Fuck all the gods. I'm going to thrall one of you. I'm going to make a god my slave and bring him back to life. The balls, the guts it takes to enslave a god. And even Ulfrir says, it took guts. It took some guts to make me, a fucking god, your slave. I love that. It's so it's such a funny scene to me. Going, yeah, you're a god, you're my slave, fuck you. Get over here. But also throughout the book, we see how her development also grows her love for Ulfrir, in a sense. She grows to care for him, and more importantly, she grows to care for the one Sather witch who, I think, Vol. I think her name is Vol. I could be, no, it's not Vol. It's something else. I'm sorry. Vol is one of the sisters. There are two sisters who I can't remember the names of for the life of me. But she grows to be friendly with the Sather witch whom she believes in and cares for in the... Oh my god. Because the Sather witch had brought her to the ash tree, and then after that, all that was left for Elvar, was she needed to fulfill her end of the bargain with the Sather witch, because they swore the Bloodsworn and all that. And so, as she's going through that journey of, hey, Sather witch lady, I'm going to get your son back, also, she is growing to love that Sather witch as a sister, as somebody she cares for, in a sense, and finding her to be part of her family, and to genuinely value her opinion. Especially when she ends up taking the throne from her father, Jarl... God damn it, I can't remember his name. The old Jarl of Snakavik. I can remember some of the names, but I can't remember them all, okay? And so, when we see Elvar continue the oppression of the Berserker, of the Berserkers. Yeah, that's their names. And we think, what's wrong with you, lady? You're just like your father while you're doing this. And that's her greatest fear, constantly. I'm afraid to be like my father. I didn't even get into that. Her father was abusive, did not care for her, and even killed her mother. And so she never had a very good relationship with her father, and there's that idea of we should care for our family, but he did not care for his daughter. And because he did not care for his daughter, Elvar, had to find a new family in the Grim Mercenary Band, and had to think, okay, these are the people who I'm going to love and view as my brothers and sisters, and the people who could be like my father to me, kind of, because you are not a good father. But who she did find to be a father was the guy whose name was like Grent. Was it Grent or Grunt? No, it wasn't Grunt. It was like Grent or Gurnt? Grent. I'm going with Grent. I am so sorry for all the names that I will be butchering and getting wrong throughout this. My memory is so faulty. But the way that she handles discovering that Grent is a thralled or not a thrall, he is a tainted. He is a descendant of, is it Rata? No, it's not Rata. It's one of the gods. I don't care which one it is. He's a descendant of one of the gods. My point is, when she discovers that he is tainted, she goes, oh shit, you've been lying to me my entire life. He is the one person who she viewed as her father, because he would teach her the values that her mother valued. He would teach her how to fight. He would be the one to teach her life lessons rather than her actual father. And when she discovers that he's been lying to her, then it breaks her heart. She's so confused and conflicted on what to do. And I think that's such a good scene where she's just like, I don't know what to do with you. And then eventually she breaks his thralls, or his chains, and says, you know what, you're free. I still love you, I'm angry with you, but I love you all the same. And there's that first hint of, oh, through this love, she is choosing a better path. She's choosing to love the people around her. And, I mean, we go from Elvar saying, this is insane! Who the fuck would free all these tainted? To, you know what? We gotta do what we gotta do. And I also think that going further into Fury of the Gods, when Elvar speaks with Ulfrir at the spirit, or at the ash tree that's there, and they talk about the spirit, and Ulfrir gives over so many things to Elvar, he goes, you know, I'm just going to trust you. I'm going to believe in your judgment, and let's see how this goes. He puts faith in her and hopes. Actually, he didn't hope anything, I think. I don't think he really hoped for much. But Elvar chose to take that hope and say, you know what? I respect it. And returned that trust with further trust in Ulfrir, and made him swear the Bloodsworn. And just, it was so brilliant, because then we finally see the climax of all this buildup for Elvar. All these people who have betrayed her, all the people who she does not trust, and the people who she still loves. She is then able to look in the eye and said, especially Grent, she goes, I did this for you, and frees all the tainted. I think that is the most important scene in the entire trilogy, if you ask me. Her choosing to free all of the tainted, and how the Bloodsworn go, oh my lord, nobody's ever even thought of it, nobody's been willing to do it. You are a special kind of person. to be willing to stand up for that, stand up for us, you have our undying fealty. You have our loyalty until the end of time, because this is the cause we believe in, and you are helping our family out. It's such an amazing scene, because finally she comes to that realization that the love she has for her family, the love she has for the Sather Witch, but more importantly for her father figure, Grent, who's, it's probably not... Grend! That might be his name, Grend. And that love is so much more powerful than the hate and sadness that she has for all of that betrayal throughout her life. And so when she dies, she's still proud. She's proud of her decision, because when they kill her, they expect everybody to be thralled. They expect to be able to use this to their advantage. But then she goes, you know what? Look, not a single one of them is thralled. Fuck you. They are free, and they're gonna choose to fight you. And it's such a badass moment, because she's going, bah, fuck all of you! And that is why I love the Bloodsworn Saga. And so I'll end this off with Biorr. And how Biorr thinks that the way he loves his family, he is loving his family. He loves the people who serve Likrifa. He loves all of them. And he fails. Because he fails to recognize that this is not what is best for his family. Because not everybody is going to get a good lot in it. They're chaining children up. And in the end, he chooses to take these children and bring them back to their families. But because of all the mistakes he's made, he ends up meeting a fairly similar fate to Elvar. Except he doesn't get to be as proud. He doesn't get to say, hey, look, this is what I've done. He does change sides. He changes his opinion. But the contrast in their deaths is so different. Elvar's proud and saying, fuck you, while Biorr goes there and he kind of fades. He's just sad. His death is sad and pathetic, really, because he's bringing back the children, yeah, but he hasn't been forgiven for anything. All the stuff he's done, all the horrible things he's done abducting these children, no, that hasn't been forgiven. He's dead now because of it. And I think that throughout the entire trilogy, it tries to hammer that home. We love one another. We love our family. We love our friends like our brothers and our sisters. And through that love of our brothers and sisters, we can then choose to fight things like discrimination against the masses. We can choose to fight these horrible things that are being done to our families, to the people whom we love. And I hope you all have had a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. And to all of you, keep fighting for your family and love them. Remember that. I think that is such a powerful theme, especially given the fact that John Gwynne lost his daughter after the writing of the second book, which is so sad. And my heart goes out to them. I can't understand it. I can't. But I wish the best for them. This was a brilliant trilogy. It's amazing that he wrote it. It's truly amazing. And I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a great day. See ya.